Dun, dun.
Welcome. We're live at the ICCC podcast room. Sorry, that's a lot of C's there.
It's the ICCC, baby.
We are live with Daniel Logan. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on and doing this with us.
All your listeners and followers are like, who? Like, oh, dang, that's the kid.
Daniel Logan played young Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones. And he was also in Sharknado 4 as Captain Fett, which we'll talk about that later, because apparently there's a funny story. Hey, man, I love the show. Man, I don't care.
That is fantastic.
Hey, sometimes the cheesiest is the better, because horror films are the same way.
I don't know. I haven't worked since. So, no, just joking.
Well, this was a fun interview. This was Daniel Logan. Thank you for being on the show.
And that's pretty the end of my
Here you go.
So I want to ask, how did the Boba Fett role come around? I mean, this is an iconic character. This is the one. You think about how iconic this character is. This is one who had very little screen time in the original movies and just blew up. And so you get to come in and take that role and just like merge it and make it your own.
Exactly.
How did that come about?
Well, it was amazing. Growing up in San Rafael, it was a beautiful summer morning, and I was riding my bike to school, and I was riding past George Lucas's house at the time. I was riding past this bush, and as he came out and he hit my bike, I fell on the ground, and no, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I'm like, if this is real, this is going to be epic.
Like, this is real. I'm loving every bit of
I'm thinking to
this.
myself, you're just giving the key to kids to how to get into Star Wars.
That's how you get in the
Wait for
movie.
Lucas. Grab your bike. Wait for you to get run over.
Here's the keys. You want to be in Star Wars? Just well, now you got to get hit by like Kevin Feige or Kathleen Kennedy.
There you go.
Now you know why they don't let me do interviews. They're like, dang, you can't. There's that rumor going around, this rumor.
I was like, this is great. I hope this is real, but I know I'm feeling it's not real.
I love your face, like,
Yeah.
wow, like,
Tell me
you can only
more.
relate it.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. Well, I was going to let him
Lure
finish
me
before
in.
I was like, so that's not real, right? But I don't want to be rude.
Well, now, what kind of bike was it? Was it a BMX?
I was
Now
like,
we're doing a
BMX? We
Schwinn.
talking motor or we talking pedal? Pedal or
No,
motor?
this was pedal bike.
There you go.
I was gonna
There
say,
you
'cause
go.
I think you were too young to be on a motorcycle.
No, so the truth of it actually is that I was a rugby player in New Zealand, and I loved playing rugby. And a commercial came along with an audition to my rugby club, and they said to my coach, you can put down 2 names. So my coach put me and his son's name down. I ended up getting the role of another person that was in the commercial. Unfortunately, I didn't get the role that I was going for because the guy was a 6-foot-something Samoan.
Oh, wow.
And although I tried to go in as a native islander,
Yeah.
I wasn't really the rock looking, you know?
You didn't have what they smelled or were cooking?
This is not the right one. But they liked me, so they're like, you know what, kid, can you dive into like the mud? And I'm like, yeah, I can. And I literally jumped off my feet into a concrete locker room and hit my face straight into the concrete. And they're like, yeah, oh, great. That's the kid. I landed my first role. So then this lady, she really loved me at the commercial. Asked my mother if she could get me more work. My mother, she was raising 6 kids on her own, so she's like, he gets paid for this? Like, yeah, he gets paid. Well, hell yeah. Pimp him out.
There we go.
Keep him coming. Keep him coming.
Contract. I'm going to need you to sign here, here, and here.
I'm like, wait a minute. Is this a Gary Coleman situation? I'm like, Ma, they've already heard about this stuff, okay? So my mother started pimping me out to every commercial in the business. And
That is great.
and we get a call and then I get an agent because I get so much work in New Zealand. So one day I'm sitting at home and I get a call. And meanwhile, remember, I live in the middle of an island in the middle of nowhere, New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
The only thing there is Lord of the Rings, apparently.
And Lord of the Rings wasn't there when I was in Star Wars.
Oh,
Remember
that's
that?
true.
It was just coming out.
It's just coming out.
There was no hairy-footed hobbit. You know what I mean? Like, and they hired everybody in New Zealand. You know, so if I didn't get Star Wars, you know, I would have got Lord of the Rings for
Yeah.
sure.
True.
I should have waited around. But so, my agent called me. And she's like, oh my gosh, Daniel, and she couldn't breathe. And I'm like, what is it, Eunice? And she's like, I got you an audition. And I'm like, an audition? Like, what the hell? You call me every week for audition? Like,
This is normal here.
I'm like,
Bring it down a bit.
yeah, like,
So is it for Cheerios or tricks? I'm confused. What am I auditioning for today?
and she goes, I go, okay, what is it for? Send me, because I started getting a little cocky at this time because every audition she sent me out for, or she didn't, I was getting the role. So I'm like, just send me the script, I'll get this one. And she suddenly humbled me. She was like, no, Daniel, you don't understand. And I said, I don't understand what? She says, you're not going to get this role. But confidence, right?
I'm just saying, yeah. She believes
But
in you.
you don't understand what this is going to do for your career. I'm going to forever be able to sell you as the kid that auditioned to be the kid in Star Wars.
She's already sold your future.
She got my future.
Sounds like your agent's pimping you out too.
Yeah.
My mom, my agent,
Oh, man.
my dog, anyone here that comes along, you know. So I was like, give me the audition. I got this. She was like, no, you don't have it. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
Oh, then why'd you tell me?
Right? Yeah. I'm like, thanks, woman. So I walk in with this confidence, like, I'm getting this now. So I walked in, and this lady, Pip Grove, she was so lovely. We had an interview kind of like this, and she was recording, and it got to the part of the interview where I was like, oh, I'm starting to like feel that I need to pick this up.
Yes.
So she's like, oh, do you have any special talents? I don't think I have a single talent.
Does acting count?
That's what you're trying to think of something.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even know what a special talent is. I'm like, what special talent? Yeah. Quickly pull out my thesaurus.
Yeah, talents.
It was like a talent. It's T-A-L. Going through trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So it hits me, and I'm like, oh, man. Means if I can do something really well. So as an actor, you're constantly lying to people, right?
Oh yeah, it's fake it till you make it.
Yeah, well, you're faking in a situation,
I'm doing it
making
right
people
now.
believe that you're really doing it, right?
Absolutely.
So I tell her, I know how to do the tayaha. Right? What the hell is that? Right? So like, as an American,
You just wrote a check you couldn't cash.
yeah. And I'm like, so I'm looking at her, and it's almost like poker. She's like,
Take a step back.
show us what the tayaha looks like, right? And I'm like, damn it, you know, thinking in my mind, you just stuffed it up, you know. So I'm like, all right, we're in the nicest hotel in downtown Auckland, New Zealand, right?
Yep.
I'm like, oh, do you have a broomstick here in the room? You know she ain't gonna have a
Now
broomstick,
you brought
right?
props into the show.
No, I'm refaking it, right? 'Cause I'm like, well, I know you're not gonna have a broom, but maybe if I say you have a broom, you just say, forget it, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, she found that broom.
No.
She's like, we're going all the way down
Yes,
this rabbit hole.
she found that broom. She found the Star Wars broom. Just imagine, Daniel, you have a tayaha in your hands. Right? I'm all.
Oh.
So here I am, like the original Star Wars kid, running around this really expensive hotel room, like. She's looking at me like, this guy is Star Wars-isian. So she's like, oh, we'll be in contact. And I'm like, looked at her like, no, we won't.
Thanks for the lie. I'll go.
My agent already told me.
Yeah.
So that's basically how I got in Star Wars. And then,
Nice.
like 5 months later, when I forgot about it, my brother was playing Grand Theft Auto, and we had like a PlayStation in my house. So you only had one TV in the house, so everyone shared that TV and one PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays you have like 5 TVs and
everywhere.
10 PlayStations, you know?
10 PlayStations, 9 iPads, and 3 iPhones.
Yep.
Yeah, the only thing you have to worry about is Wi-Fi connection, you know? Back in the day was how long did I have to wait for the controller, you know? So I'm sitting there, and I like to go around and get the ladies into the car and drive into the little bushes and, you know, or steal cars and go around. I was ADHD.
So you like to play Grand Theft Auto?
I love playing
Yes,
Grand
you
Theft
did.
Auto. When my brother's like an A-type mind, he's like, I need to clock this thing. I need to, finish it.
Oh, yeah.
I need to do missions. You're ruining my mission count. So the one day he decided not to beat me up. He says, hey, I got to tell you something. And I look up to him like, yeah, what are you going to...
Yeah.
It's one of those...
Yeah. Got to flinch a little bit.
What are you telling me? He's like, you gonna tell me you're gonna punch me? So he's like, dude, you got Star Wars, man. I'm proud of you. And the controller just left my hands as soon as the last word came out of his mouth. You know,
Wow.
like, what? So I jump up and I'm like, yes! Like, it's not real at this time. So I go to run out the door. And my mother, meanwhile, remember I said in the beginning she raised 6 kids.
Absolutely.
She was more like a father than a mother. So she ruled with the iron fist. Well, spatula and belt and hopefully she's not watching this. Wait, I'm getting a little too personal. Sorry, Mom.
Anything close.
New Zealand sounds like
Anything in
Nashville.
reach.
Anything in reach.
So I got to go run and tell my whole family. Well, apparently I wasn't allowed to be told. Oh. I guess they realized in the first interview I had a really big mouth. And they were worried that the story would be spilled. So they wanted to wait until they were ready to have me go to Australia in order to be able to start telling me, hey, Daniel, you're in Star Wars and you'll be coming back and playing this iconic character called Boba Fett who has this amazing history that you had no clue about. You're stepping in this role and we're just pushing you out there and good luck. You know? And I'm like,
open the door.
Sink or swim.
Zoom, and my life changed. That was it.
Nice.
I mean, I do have to say, though, in this casting of you as young Boba Fett, they nailed it. You have the iconic look that Boba Fett has, and you look so much like the guy who is in the
I love it.
And
everyone's like, what is his name?
I agree. Hey, it's one of those that if you don't ask me, I can tell you his name, but when I start thinking about it, I'm like...
Tim Morrison.
Yeah,
He goes by Tim, T-E-M, Tim, which makes it a hell of a easier for, especially for us Americans now, you know. I'm like, Tim Morrison, you know, you're like, what was that again?
Just to say,
And I'm
that
pushing...
with a Q?
Yeah, Q, does that end with a Morrison?
Disney Plus needs to do a young Boba Fett show, and you need to be in it.
Thank you.
I'm telling you now, man, the likeness is great. It would be a great Disney Plus show.
That'd be a huge
Especially
expansion. That'd be awesome.
especially in the Clone Wars, when you brought the Clone Wars to life too, as young Boba Fett. I loved the story arc that you gave to him becoming the bounty hunter he is, with Aura Singh and all the group, and how he still tried to keep a good side of Boba Fett, but also be the bad bounty hunter. So, Daniel, we want to thank you for coming on. This has been amazing. Please don't get hit by your bike again. By George Lucas.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get my next job. I've been riding my bicycle for the last couple of
tell you
years.
right now,
There's
stay
a lot of
away
traffic
from,
here in
I
Nashville.
understand that you Star Wars guys like to also try to dip in the Marvel pool. Stay away from Kevin Feige's house and don't get hit by his car. Okay?
Man, where does he live? I might
There you
have to move down the road.
We want to thank you for coming on. We appreciate it so
welcome.
much. I hope you come down here to ICCC, see Daniel Logan, get an autograph. He's already got a little
Absolutely.
picture of himself.
Yep.
Get an autograph. There's plenty of
Me and
Boba
my
Fett.
best mate. Actually, to answer your question, so earlier about Sharknado.
Oh, please.
So I get a call, right? The guy's the greatest. I get a call. Hey, Daniel, we called Peter Mayhew to see if he would be interested in being the pilot. He said, no, he's not interested, but call Daniel Logan. No lies. So
Peter Mayhew said that?
Peter Mayhew.
Oh, wow.
So it was
Wow.
blessed to Peter not being able, well, at the time it was difficult for him to get around.
Right.
Yeah.
They had
right.
us go out and film on like Pan Am set. So I felt like this was going to be the coolest thing in my career, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, this is awesome. I get to set, and the guy literally wrote a paper script and was like, oh, I just wrote this on the plane here. And I'm like, what? So it gives me like an hour to learn these like rough written scripts. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, I thought this was Sharknado, right? Like, I thought it was Star Wars, right? So I go in. There's these beautiful ladies get in, you know, in makeup and everything. Like, ooh, you're new to our show? And I acted like I'm the new pilot, you know, like, oh, yeah, I'm the pilot, you know? So they're like, oh, wow. I kind of felt like on a real plane.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that we stole the Pan Am set and that when they broke for lunch, we went and hijacked the set. So I didn't see any of those females, man. Like, it was a fraud, you know?
Whoa.
And then they're like, come on, Daniel, the air stewardess has almost finished lunch. Yeah, one more take. And I'm like, one more take? I'm like, oh, man.
Wow.
But that's movie magic. And like my good friend said, Ryan, it took me like 3 hours and that got all of that together.
Done.
And then you're done.
Wow.
Well, it was more like an hour because I only had lunch break, right?
Gotta do that quick.
We don't have no retakes, no budget for that.
retake. You gotta go.
We got
be
one
done.
take. Let's go. Thank you so much for coming on
You're
with us,
welcome.
guys. Make sure you come down here. He's here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you know what? Off topic. these Comic Cons are the best thing in the world. It gives you an opportunity to be able to get back in touch with not only current situations and
yes.
movies and TV shows, but
Absolutely.
things from the past. And especially with the ICCC having so much Star Wars talent, it's a
Absolutely.
great opportunity to indulge in Star Wars. So
fabulous.
come on down, bring your family, bring
Absolutely.
your kids,
Come on
bring
down,
your
have
neighbors.
some fun.
And it just feels good. Doesn't it just feel good to be in a con environment again?
It's an amazing atmosphere.
After a year.
People have been waiting. I mean,
Absolutely.
you see the
Wow.
dealer's room. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Oh, yes.
They're back.
Absolutely.
Social distancing and masks are on. Besides
Absolutely.
me.
Yes.
So it's been a great time. Great time.
Daniel, thank you so
Absolutely.
much for coming out and being
Thank
with
you.
us. We
Thank you
appreciate
guys for having me. May the force
Absolutely.
be with you both.
And you as
it.
well.
And you as well.
Thank you. This
Thank
is
you all.
Boba Fett. This is Boba Fett. So